Hey, this is PJ with CLK Supplies, and I want to give you a quick overview and show you how Gernericode works. Specifically the G-Code Online, which is the online version of Gernericode that you pay a one-time yearly fee to access. Now, we get a lot of questions about the capabilities of Gernericode or just the code softwares in general. And in a nutshell, essentially what they do is they allow you to put in a key code and you can get the key bidding. It'll also tell you the key blanks to use. There's a key blank reference in it that I'll show you. And one of the most important features is it does give you the ability that, like, let's say you decode a door lock, and in the door lock there was spaces, 1 through 6 in them. But you're really trying to make an ignition key, and the ignition has like 2 through 8 in it. Is what you'll be able to do is put the bidding in that you have decoded from the door lock, and it's going to let you know what keys you need to cut to progress to get those last 2 cuts for the ignition. And I'll show you kind of what that looks like here in just a minute. But one of the most common questions we get asked is, does this software or does any software have the ability to put a VIN number in and get a key code from it? And the answer is no. This software does not do that. That software really doesn't exist outside of a subscription through like Nastiff, and it's really not even that as simple as putting a VIN number in and getting a key code. So let's go ahead and we'll get started, and I'll show you how Gernericode works. All right, so here we are. We're on the home screen of the gcodeonline.com. Now I'm going to go up here. I'm going to click login. Now once you purchase this from us and you go and you'll be emailed almost right away your password where you can log in. All right, so let's go in here and click login. I'll put the details in there. Hit OK. And this is going to be the home screen you'll be looking at here. And you'll see up top here where it says search database, where you're going to see a code where you can search by code number, cycle, make, model, year, original manufacturer, padlock, sidewinders, utility lock, and vehicle by make, model, year. Next, you're going to see here is a key blank cross-reference. Let me click on it. So what you can do here is you can go and you can find your blank type. So let's go to ILCO and let's type in TR47. Okay, we're going to hit search. As you can see, nothing happens, nothing comes up. And that's because you want to make sure the blank value that you're typing in is actually what it is. So a TR47 is actually an ILCO easy number. The ILCO number is going to be the X217. Okay, so we're going to go to ILCO easy, hit search again. Now it's going to bring up this information here. So you'll see it's going to show you the ILCO number, ILCO easy number, the JET, the JMA number, which is a TOYO-15. You're going to see the CLK number here, and then Taylor. And by the way, all the X numbers that ILCO uses, those originated from Taylor. But now, so this is a helpful tool if you're trying to cross-reference a key blank from one manufacturer to another. Just make sure you have the blank type set up properly, okay? Like in that TR47 example. Now let's go over to search database, all right? So let's just search by code number. Let's see what that looks like. And this is gonna be really the main screen that you'll be using quite often, okay? And what you're gonna do here is, let's go ahead and let's type in M250. This is a Honda code. So we wanna go to the lock type and we wanna go ahead and just go to vehicle. Now the reason I like to do that is, let me show you the difference here. If I do go to all locks and I hit search, it's going to come up with 53 different results that you have to look through. Where I'm hit the back button here, type it in again. If I go to vehicle and I hit search, it brings it down to 34. Now a lot of times, depending on what it is, it can even be a lot less than that. And it's just really helpful to do. Now, as you can see here, I'm not seeing Honda anywhere on here yet, so I like to change the view to 50 and scroll down here. And as you can see, we can see it right here. And so is what we're doing, depending on what we're looking for, right? The series, that's going to be the code series that you're going to be looking for. And then the comment area right here, that's going to have, kind of keywords, Honda CRV, for example. Now, that doesn't mean it's not like a Honda Accord either, by the way, but it just has something in there. Next, under the blank, that's going to be the key blank number. The source is going to be, it's automotive. And then you'll see the view details and key blank. So when you click like the view blank, it's just going to show you a picture of the key, right? Which is just a standard looking kind of line drawing, nothing too special there. So typically when I put a code in, you know, like I knew that was a Honda one, but so I'm kind of looking in these three fields right here. I'm kind of looking for Honda. I want to make sure it's within the code series that I believe it's supposed to be in, and then also by key blank number. So depending on, especially when you're working on some like old toolbox locks or something weird like that, you can put the code in. You'll bring the you know, this screen up, and then you'll see maybe it'll say like, you know, toolbox right here. When that happens, you know, you want to look at that key blank number, and then you're going to want to go grab one of those keys and stick it in and see if it actually goes in. If it goes in, it's a high probability that's going to be the right code for it. Now let's go ahead and click View Details. Okay. Now, now when we do this, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see the series information, the code information, the comment. Okay, that's everything that we saw on the last screen that we were just looking at. Underneath it, we're going to see the spacing, and we're going to see the increments, and then we're going to see the cuts here. Now, this is going to be the head of the key over here, and this is going to be the tip. All right, so that's how you're going to kind of read these cuts here. So there's one side, and then there's the other side. Next, you'll see the spacing with that information, and then also the depth information. Now, if this screen right here, this part of it looks familiar, that's because this is essentially the key blank cross-reference embedded into the screen right here. So it's going to tell us what, like the JMA number for the HO01 is the TP05, HOND-31P. Now over here under machine details, okay, it's going to give you information. So let's say you had, you know, an ILCO machine. You can click ILCO, and it's going to tell you what the ILCO card number is here, along with the jaw and like the stop. Okay. Now let's go into this back out for a minute, and I want to give you an example of a just like an edge style key. All right. So let's just go ahead and let's type in. Looks like I have some presets here. So 1258X. So that's probably going to be a vehicle, probably a Ford or a GM or something. Yeah, Ford. So as we can see here, now let's just pretend it's this one right here. This is the code series. As you can see, this code series is the same for all of these Fords. Okay, so you want to just make sure you're not like clicking on one that would say like valet or something. But as you can see, if you click details here, you're going to see the cuts. You know, 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 4, 2, 4 is going to be the exact same as this one. Okay, those are going to be the same. That's going to be the same bidding. So because it's the same code series. So let's say you found one, and maybe it's this one right here. Okay, and so you went ahead and you want to cut the key. So it's going to give you the cuts, it's going to give you the spacing, it's going to give you the depth. Here's that key blank cross-reference chart embedded in the screen right here. But over here under the HPC, okay, it's going to tell you what the HPC card number is, which is the CX101. And it's going to tell you that the cutter number is the 1011. Now, let's say you go and you start digging through your cards and you realize that you've lost that card. You can't find it. It's misplaced at the moment. All you have to do is click this View Card button, and it's going to pop up the card here, and all you need to do is print it out. You can cut it out, and then you'll be able to use it. So that's a really nice, fun feature, especially on a lot of different random like utility locks that maybe never even had a HPC code card made. Using a software like, you know, this, it'll pop up the actual card for you, so you don't need to use, you know, your millimeter or inches card or something like that. So that's a really, really handy feature about this. Just make sure when you're printing it to the actual size, and you're not doing like fit to page or something like that. That could skew the size of the card, right? That's where you can run into problems there. Now, back to the screen here, so you can go to other ones like the ILCO. You can see what the ILCO you know, card number is. You can go to the, you know, laser key products, Sidewinder 2 information. I guess it's on a Sidewinder, so that wouldn't work. Frame and manual machine, so you can see that, you know, the spacing block, the alignment, the cam, the space key, and the cutter. So it's going to give you a ton of information. All right, so let's go and go to the back screen. Let me just give you one other example here, which is vehicle, make, model, year. Okay, so let's just go here and let's go ahead and let's go to a Chevrolet. Let's go to a Suburban, and then let's go to, I don't know, 2018. Let's click it. Okay, so it's going to tell us, you know, it's a transponder. That's going to be, you know, the blank number. Now that's just going to be your basic transponder key, not, you know, like the flip key that it might come with, but in the code series. So this is where it gets kind of fun, right? So you can see the blank here, which is just a basic, you know, line drawing. We can see the tumbler info. So it's what we can see here. So the I stands for ignition, the D stands for door. So on the ignition, it's telling you that the wafers in the ignition are in positions 1 through 9, and the door wafers are 6 through 10. All right, now that's important for some reason. Let's say you decode the door lock and you have spaces 6 through 10. Well, now you need to get to the ignition, okay? And this is where it can get kind of fun, because when you go over here to cuts to code, right, is what we're doing here is we can put those in, okay? And if we read it here, it says for unknown cuts, enter a dash. To skip a cut, enter the equal sign. To search for one depth deeper, click the 1D, and to search for one depth shallower, click 1S. Now, what that's doing is it's going to sift through the whole entire code series for this vehicle based on what you're telling it. So let's say here, now I'm just making this up as I go, but let's say, you know, in that example, we're missing 1 through 4, right? I believe on the unknown cut. So we're going to put dashes in there since they're unknown. And then here, we're just going to kind of make some code, some bidding up. Hopefully it's going to actually have a code behind it. But so what I did here, I'm pretending that I put in the cuts of the door that I decoded, and then I'm leaving these other 4 as unknowns. Okay, I'm going to click OK. Let's see if I got it here. Perfect. Yeah. So what this is going to do here is it searched that entire code series, and it's telling me what my options are. My options in this example are going to be 2 different keys that I have to try. So key number 1, I'll first want to cut it to this code, which happens to be a V3667. And if that doesn't work on the same key, I recut it with this, right? It's a progression table here. So as you can see, tops, I'm only going to have to waste 2 keys to get a key that's going to actually turn in the ignition that we can get onto the programming. So that's a really fun part about this program, is the progression results and how it's listed here and how it's linked to the code series next to it, just like that. And then it's going to bring up the details. All right, so that's a quick overview of G-Code Online. Tell me, is there a feature that I didn't cover that's your favorite? Or what is your favorite feature about Gernericode? Put it in the comments below. I'd love to know. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.